Right, guys, Man City have just beaten Sevilla by 4 goals to 0. And beaten is probably the wrong word. I mean, the correct word is just like probably steamrolled because they made it look so easy. And the fact that it was so easy for Man City really isn't a great look for La Liga, considering Sevilla are a team in the Champions League, because you wouldn't see Man City just roll over an opponent in the Premier League, especially a team in the top four, away from home, with such ease. Um, yeah, easy was just the correct word for tonight for Manchester City. They got the opening goal through Erling Haaland after about 20 minutes. It was really good play. Down the right hand side, Foden playing it through to De Bruyne, whipping it across goal, and Haaland lifting his leg up to about head height for pretty much anyone else and diverting the ball into an empty net. And yeah, from then on, City just had complete control. Sevilla created pretty much zero chances throughout the entire game, to be honest. Very little for Ederson to do throughout the game. And yes, City were just knocking it about like it was a training session for the majority of the game. Second half, Phil Foden got the second goal. Really well taken goal. Cancelo plays it into him, and he sort of into a severe defender or midfielder inside out and hits it into the bottom right corner. And for the third, it's really like a typical Erling Haaland goal. Pounces on a goalkeeping save and puts the ball into an empty net once again. And they got fourth through Ruben Diaz right at the end of the game. So yeah, it was just so easy for Manchester City. Sevilla didn't really put up any fight, and I understand that Sevilla are in a bit of a sticky situation because they're struggling a little bit in La Liga this season, and they have lost both of their centre backs in Jules Koundé and Diego Carlos to Barcelona and Aston Villa. And they have signed Nianzou, but he's not quite at the level of Carlos and Koundé, to be honest. Like Sevilla were well known for last season for having a very, very good defence. Today, it just didn't look like a solid backline whatsoever. It was far too easy for Manchester City to penetrate, really. And yes, City, towards the end of the game, they were just bringing on like players who don't get many minutes, and they were still finding it really easy. They brought on players like Cole Palmer and Julian Alvarez. They also gave starts to Manuel Akanji and Sergio Gomez, although it's quite hard to judge them from this game because all they really had to do was just find space and receive the ball and play it on until it gets to like Kevin De Bruyne or Phil Foden, and then they try and create something. Kevin De Bruyne just absolutely ran the game for Man City today. He was phenomenal in midfield. And yeah, there's not really much more to say than that, but there is something I do want to talk about, because there were a couple of occasions in tonight's game where there was like a VAR decision for an offside, or even if there wasn't, the cameras were showing what the new format of showing the results, whether it is offside or onside, look like. And it is very similar to goal line technology, which is good because goal line technology is one of the only things that have been implemented in football as sort of like an officiating method. And it's the only one really that hasn't had that much controversy. That there's been a few occasions, like there was one in the other day in like a Huddersfield game where they managed to screw it up, and also obviously as Bournemouth fans will all know, that in the Sheffield United versus Aston Villa game in the Premier League about 2.5 years ago now, they forgot to turn it on or something. But once it's turned on, it's quite effective. Um, and hopefully if they can somehow do the same with offsides, then that should be the end of. Where do we draw the line? Where is his kneecap offside? Is his shoulder offside? Is his foot? Is his toe in front of the other player's knee? It's been really, you know, an ongoing problem for, especially in the Premier League, where they're just taking 3 or 4 minutes to make a simple decision at times. So hopefully this just makes it a lot more straightforward. So yeah, that's like, you know, hopefully going to soon end the problem. If only there was a way of, you know, dealing with situations like fouls, like the ones at the weekend in the Chelsea, West Ham, and Newcastle Crystal Palace games. But yeah, City just made it look so easy tonight. Sevilla, if they were in the Premier League, they would be no more than a mid-table team if we're being completely honest. Like they've got some notable players in their team like Ivan Rakitic and Jesus Navas, Alex Telles, but they're all players who are, I don't want to be too harsh, but are players who were good 4 or 5 years ago, really. So it's it's very much a team that have been mashed together, full of players who are well known, but just beyond their best. They also had players like Fernando and Suso and Adnan Januzaj on the bench as well. It just wasn't a team that looked like they could potentially develop and turn into a team that can, you know, challenge for titles or challenge for cups. It was. I was quite disappointed because I had heard good things about Sevilla last season in La Liga. Like they did have one of the best defences in Europe at one point. So yeah, that was quite disappointing tonight from a neutral's point of view. But yeah, Man City are just keeping up their just ruthlessness. And well, I'll say that at the weekend they weren't exactly ruthless, but yeah, they are having a really good start to the season, unbeaten so far, and yeah, City fans will hope it continues. But yeah, anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.